The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right. Let's do some sports concepts and rationalizations. We call it the 10-minute drill. At the end of the drill, Beef will hand out a prize pack. This week's prize pack includes what, Beef?
Stay tuned, Googans. We're going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to go get down at the Celtic Music and Heritage Festival coming up in St. Aug, March 14th and 15th. And
I'll be there.
We'll set you up with some free airport parking from our friends at USA Park Dallas.
Outstanding, man.
That sounds like a heck of a deal. I don't, as you know, Hick, I'm not active on social media. I understand the concept, so I
got a couple burners, but
I can follow the major storylines as they develop. But is there such a thing as a social media translator? You know, like those apps when you go to a foreign country and I can say what I mean into my phone, and then I can hold it up to my German friend, and it'll repeat my question in German, and then back and forth. Because I believe you almost need like some sort of device like that if you're trying to in any way interpret Yannick Ngakwe's social media feed.
Today's the day, checkered flag.
I mean, it's like
it's funny you bring that up because last night on the TV show I played, it's time to play Jacksonville's most popular game. What does Jan mean?
Okay, well, there you go.
And I don't know. Said, the truth of the answer is I don't know.
Well, the bottom line is this. I got news for Jan and anyone else. There is no major news that could come today other than he's signing with the Jags.
Right.
He's not allowed to negotiate with anyone else. The Jaguars, of all the dumb things they've done, they're not dumb enough to just pull out of the Jan sweepstakes at this point. Wow. So the only news that could be coming that is worth, putting some sort of advance on would be if he were re-signing with the Jags, and someone said that, he almost gave him a no. So who knows? So there is no translator.
Correct.
You're just flying blind like me. Even though you're a veteran savvy, you're flying blind like I am.
If you click on the that would be a nice someone should invent that.
An app,
that if you click on the tweet, you hear what he really means.
Right? We might could start one of those and just, do our supposition as to what it really means.
Sure. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Jan, and it may be nothing. You can't. They're cryptic. They're good. They're fun.
At some point, though, unless Yannick Ngakoue today has major news, I would encourage everyone to boy who cried wolf his butt on social media and stop looking. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, again, this is what he said. And look, PSA Monday. Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. A PSA, implies big news.
Yeah,
it's a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me you're delivering turkeys to a middle school. That's it.
And the stay tuned, he put a checkered flag emoji next to it, meaning the finish line.
Yeah.
So we shall see. The
Gator, we think it means the finish
Gator basketball team lost the game, from what I understand, and doing my Joey Buckets bracketology meant nothing.
Nothing. That Duke has lost 3 in a row, and it's meant nothing. They haven't moved a bit.
Yeah, Kentucky Jeff's not happy about that.
Well, Kentucky Jeff is
Jeff is stunned about that.
Well, he's also going to be very unhappy when the first weekend of the tournament comes to a conclusion and Kentucky's home like the rest of. I mean,
what do you mean? They won another conference championship,
and they should. But I mean, really, are you afraid of Kentucky?
Duke has lost 3 of its last 4 games, hasn't dropped 1 spot in the net ratings. They're still number 6.
Yeah.
5 teams with at least 9 losses are ranked ahead of Kentucky with 5 losses in the net.
Yeah, that's because Kentucky plays in a league where they look about the same as Tennessee and Florida. I mean, I know they beat those teams, and I'm not taking anything away from Kentucky and their record and where they are, but I know, I don't know who's winning the title, but Kentucky ain't.
Oh, anyway, in reading up on the Gators, what I read was this game was meaningless, but don't lose to Georgia.
Well, yeah, which they will, by the way, which means they won't. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Whatever you think Florida's going to do or should do, they'll do the opposite or won't. Who knows?
They're a confounding team.
Georgia finally is closing out some games, too.
Oh, yeah.
They've won a couple 3 games in a row against teams that are on the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
So Florida better be careful because, by the way.
But I'm going to tell you this as well. You should see all the bubble teams who are behind Florida who are still in the. I mean,
I know. It's the hardest one ever.
It's like the NFL regular season, man. You lose and you're done. You're not done. You're never done.
I think this is the biggest one ever, though, Hick. Like I said before,
what is
the biggest field of bubble offenses? Like usually the bubble bursts, and we'll come in here on Monday and we'll sanctimoniously pound the table and say this team should and this team. And there's about 4 on one side and 4 on the other. Really, this year there's going to be about 15 on one side and 15 on the other. You're like, well, how are they in and they're not? It's look, it's very trendy. It's very fun to bang out, and bang on the tournament committee. But this year, I mean, look at the SEC, Hick. There's no difference in Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, LSU.
Yeah.
Anyone can beat any of them. There's really no favorite.
If I was an FSU fan, I wouldn't be real happy with what
No,
went
they
on.
blew it.
Now, Duke's loss kept them because listen, FSU has never won the regular season ACC crown, which is amazing.
They had it.
And so it means something to them. It would mean something to me, just like UNF wins a conference championship in the regular season. You don't have all the things in the world to play for if you're UNF. So if you win that, that's awesome. Congrats.
And they did, by
Hang
the
a
way.
banner, yeah.
Thank you to Lipscomb, who beat Liberty Bibberty.
Yes, Liberty Bibberty on the ropes. But anyway, so FSU is going to beat Clemson. Then the refs got together and huddled and came up with some cockamamie.
Inadvertent whistle. I've never heard that in basketball.
Yeah, football, but inadvertent whistle. Why would you have blown the whistle, Chief?
But here, though, in fairness, FSU controlled the ball, and they scored anyway.
Correct.
So it didn't.
Well, they got the ball and they scored, and then Clemson scored at the end. And
Clemson would have
hit
had the ball, though.
And Clemson hit its last 7 shots,
Yeah.
too. So there's a couple things working against them. But it is frustrating when you watch, if you watch that game as an FSU fan, I could see where you'd get a little miffed at the refs. But again, they're back controlling their own destiny because then Duke promptly turned around and lost for the third time, as we mentioned, in the last 4 games.
I'm thinking more in context of the way this season is, imploding here at the end. If FSU they could have been a 1 seed. Now, does it matter if you're a 1 or 2? Probably not. You're playing on neutral courts. And, it's not like the A-Sun where UNF being number 2 means they would have to play a potential title game at Liberty. And by the way, UNF's first got to beat JU tomorrow.
That's right.
It's not guaranteed.
And nothing would make JU happier than to beat UNF.
I think one of the stars of the Combine is also living proof of why Willie Taggart was such an awful coach at FSU and was summarily dismissed. He didn't use him enough.
Well, the offensive line was so bad. The fact that Cam Akers could get 1,000 yards is miraculous.
Well,
and I think that's what we're learning with Cam Akers, who probably will be Dalvin Cook-esque, if you want to draw a comparison from their different
Cam Akers
backs,
or DeAndre Swift, Dan? You played both of them 3-4 years.
That's a great question.
Yeah, isn't it? And maybe there's no right answer. Maybe one Sunday it's Swift and the next Sunday it's Akers. But I'm not sure Akers doesn't scare me more than Swift.
Akers was dynamic and seemingly broke one against the Gators every year.
Just like Dalvin used to.
I would love to take
How
Cam
high
Akers.
Are you willing to take a running back?
I'd go third. I'd take one in the third.
So you
if Cam
agree?
Akers was there in the third. Listen, I did a mock draft.
We did one.
No, I know. I did one previous, though, where I got back in January, Cam Akers.
5th round.
Why is he in the 5th and 6th round?
That's changed.
That's stupid.
Yeah, he was he the fastest running back? If he wasn't the fastest, he was.
He was fat. No, but he was faster than. But here's the thing about running backs. And Jonathan Taylor blazed one. They all blaze. They're all good, and nobody takes them in the first round.
No, that's true. Well, good. The Jags can't afford to take one in the first round anyway. But listen, it's not all about this year too. Leonard is. We're gonna have to make a decision on an option year, and you need. Wouldn't it be great to have a guy?
Oh well, let me tell you.
In case they move on,
it is all about this year. But you're right.
Right.
Yeah. It shouldn't be. Yeah, you should always do what's best for the program.
Is it fair, and I know that he didn't get a lot of opportunity, but is it fair to be really disappointed in Raquel Armstead only because, literally nothing?
The catch against Denver, but it was.
And in today's day and age, Dan, around the league, teams are using
5th round
more than one back.
Yeah.
No, I know, 5th round. I get it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't use a real high draft pick on it, but I think it makes is running back and getting one in the 3rd, 4th. Is it an urgent need?
There's so much urgency with this roster.
We'll talk more Jags with Tony Baselli.
We had said a couple weeks ago, one of the words we used was glut. There's a glut of quarterbacks, right, in the NFL. Once the guys get drafted, all of a sudden we have more quarterbacks than positions. So somebody's going to get left out. Peter King agrees. My prediction, 5 quarterbacks will be immensely peed off a month from today with a depressed market value for their services or no market value. He said, fruitless endeavor of the week, where will everyone land? I kept asking people here about Jameis Winston's fate, and he couldn't find a landing spot for him. I doubt sincerely he'd be a starter on opening day 2020 if he leaves Tampa, which is likely, but where could he be a backup? Did you just hear what I said? Jameis Winston, who threw 30 touchdown passes and 5,000 yards, would be likely to leave Tampa and be a backup?
Well, if I was Jameis's agent, if I'm relegated to just a backup hope, the first people I call would be the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm better than your guy, just so you know. Who's also a friend. I wonder about Blake Bortles. Does he get a job? Is his career over?
Yeah, who knows? If you put Burrow in Cincinnati, Tua in Miami, Herbert or Love in a draft and develop situation with the Chargers, and I have no idea if that last one is true, where does that leave the vets? Brady in Vegas or Tennessee, Bridgewater
or New England.
Bridgewater in Tampa, Rivers or one of the rookies in Indy, Andy Dalton, an insurance policy in Chicago, Cam Newton in Carolina. What of New England? If Brady goes, maybe wait till the market dries up and get a Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota cheap while grooming favored son Jarrett Stidham. Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. What about Washington's backup plan? Strangely, the team interviewed at least 3 quarterbacks at the Combine.
They may
for
take
Dwayne
Tua,
Haskins,
Dan.
if club execs fear Alex Smith might not be ready to play in September. Without chairs, maybe. Carr, Winston, Marcus Mariota, Case Keenum. One of my favorite X factors, this is Peter King talking, is Nick Foles. Assuming as many in Combine hallways believe the Jaguars go with Gardner Minshew, Foles is 31, a Super Bowl MVP, a great team guy, a pocket guy in need of a good O-line and outside weapons. The more I think of Foles and the more I think of a landing spot if he's not a Jag, I think I could talk myself into the Colts. Makes a lot of sense, especially behind that line, especially with how much he'd be able to help Jacoby Brissett.
Well, he can't. You're leaving one thing out, Peter.
Yeah.
And that is the path to the Colts.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. The Jags can't cut him. Mm-hmm. You can't cut him. You're better off keeping him as a backup than cutting him because you don't save anything.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Jags are going to trade their starting quarterback to a division rival, are they?
I think so.
Yeah. Now, if he was somehow released without any penalty, then that would be a different situation. I was kind of like I talked last week. I think the Patriots would make sense for Nick Foles if you're trying to find a place for him to work.
Peter says, strange sight of the week in the Indiana Convention Center. Coaches and scouts and players and media trod through wide, high-ceiling hallways during the day. There was an odd sight Wednesday night around 9:30. Justin Herbert, the Oregon quarterback, throwing passes to his quarterback coach, former NFL quarterback John Beck. Remember him?
Yeah.
Pete's guy.
That was Walsh. No, that was Beck, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, it wasn't. John Beck was the Dolphin guy, right?
Isn't that the one that Pete said was going to be? That was his.
The
was
BYU
Walsh.
guy.
Yeah, that was Beck.
It was Beck.
Yeah, he came in the league at like 37 years old.
At 95, in 95, though, Pete thought that he could be the Jags' first ever pick, didn't he?
Yeah, inside one of those giant convention center rooms set up for a future trade show. As Herbert, through a security person, walked up and said, "Are you guys here for that NFL thing?" Yes, they were. And with shopping crates and forklifts prepping the room, Herbert got in 40 to 50 throws.
That's not the same guy, Jeff. John Beck came in 2007.
Yeah, it was Walsh, I think.
Yeah.
John Walsh.
Yeah.
Then he went out and did America's Most Wanted.
No, it's a
different one. Yeah. He's actually Matt Walsh's dad.
Not at all. There's
Former
absolutely, there's
Arkansas
absolutely
rim
no.
rocker.
Would you rather have, what about Andy Dalton to the Bucks? Would you rather have Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston? In Tampa. Doesn't it kind of feel like Andy Dalton and the quarterback whisperer Arians could work good together?
The quick answer off the top of your head is, of course you'd want Jameis Winston. But then you sit there and you go, he got Bruce Arians for a year and he threw 30 again, if Jameis Winston had thrown 12 interceptions instead of 30, Tampa Bay would have been in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, because
make no mistake, those
he
pick
put him
sixes,
he put him behind 7-0
he
like
lost.
every week.
He personally
He's mortal,
lost.
Stan. I'd take anybody in the world over Jameis Winston. I swear to goodness, I would. There's not a quarterback in the league that I would want. There's not a team that I would want. Jameis Winston gives the other team
That's
the game
amazing.
too much. He's like Blake, and he can have 1 year like Blake and control it and career it and take a team to a postseason, but don't commit to him long term. He throws it to the other team. Of course, now he's gotten LASIK. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, but think about what you're saying. Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards and has made throws that make you go, whoa. But yet, I got to believe that Bruce Arians is just
You can tell.
sick.
You know, I was meant to ask you this question. Let me tell you a conclusion that I drew from the Combine and hearing Doug and Dave talk. And again, I'm not saying that this is what we have, but they have to think that this is what we have. They must think that we must have the most mentally weak, fragile locker room in all the NFL.
Why is that?
Well, because I watch other organizations up there who flat out tell you, maybe even to put some public pressure on the players or position groups they're talking about. I mean, I got Bruce Arians all but saying our quarterback's got to be better.
Yeah.
I've got, what was the other one that was talking about? Was it Another team that, I think it may have been Mayock. Well, our linebackers are so bad. I don't know how come other people can say that. But I guess they are so concerned down there of, hurting a player's feelings that because it's disingenuous to be up there in Indy, or you look like a fool talking about how happy you were with the linebackers. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I can come to is, well, they must think that our psyche collectively as a alleged group of warriors would just flounder if you actually called someone out?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
a little soft.
Separate thought. And that might not be true. Yeah. The locker room may be more than capable of dealing with that, but we won't know because of the padded white gloves that they have suddenly put on to deal with their roster.
Most impressive player of the week, according to King, was Clemson safety linebacker, slot corner Isaiah Simmons, 4'3", 40 at 238 pounds, a slam dunk top 10 pick already.
I just saw him 10th in a mock draft. So to your point that he's completely out of the Jags, I don't know, maybe not.
Well, I don't think he'll get out of the top 5, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll make that prediction right now.
Yeah, I don't. The problem with don't get out of the top 5 is I can come up with 6 guys that I could tell you I don't think are getting out of the top 5.
That's fine.
Right? 2 quarterbacks aren't getting out of the top 5.
Yeah. Let's put that 4.39 in perspective. The NFL Network did the simulcast, as you saw. Isaiah Simmons run by Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James and Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara.
Wow, those guys weren't that quick, huh? I thought Jalen was the fastest player who ever ran the 40. He told me that, but I guess he was just embellishing.
Okay, guys, we have the PSA.
Okay.
We're out there.
All right.
We're out there.
Breaking. Here it is.
This is it. We're out there, and we're making it known, and it's not good news.
What do you got? Breaking.
This better be real.
6 minutes ago. This was from Yannick Ngakoue's Twitter account 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I quote,
all right.
The Jaguars are aware I no longer have interest in signing a long-term contract in Jacksonville. Duval, I love you and gave you guys everything I got. I'm thankful for the journey and look forward to continuing my career elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Jaguars sent back a 2-word answer, franchise tag.
Yeah, but again, that's not good.
No, it's not good.
Because he doesn't need to, this guy is a guy. I'm just saying, this guy's a different cat, man. When he didn't take the deal last year,
he made the decision. Then I'm not coming back.
He played for $2+ million. Do you think he cares about a friend? Do you think he'll sit out?
But my point is, when that happened, I think he cut himself off from then.
Oh,
that was it.
Well, I had heard some rumblings that there was.
Is this Tom's fault, by the way? Hey, Jag fan. I mean, he's been gone now about 4 months. I guess it's probably Tom's fault that Yannick Ngakoue doesn't want to play here.
Yeah, it's Tom's fault.
Because
Tom's the one who took
the reverberations of how it used to be.
No, it's not.
He doesn't have that power. I mean, he can say it, but it could at least get a trade, something. But
yeah,
again, this speaks to the poorly run organization that we cover. Well, they are poor when it comes to running things.
Yeah.
They alienate and send off and misjudge and misevaluate. It's, again, pound the under, boys.
Yeah.
Pound the under.
Yeah.
And so, does this surprise you?
No. I think Jan still wants 22+. And again, because the Jags handled it so poorly, I thought at this point, look, you just got to cave and give him what he wants. And obviously they're taking a hard, fast line at a certain number. And whereas I would have defended them and did defend them last year and thought Jan was crazy, and I still think, listen.
At the time, that was good money. He got too offended for what they offered, I think.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it wasn't.
Again, and I listen, and I said this again last night. You can argue whether he's a very good or a great player. That doesn't matter at this point. At this point, the whole thing is, why is it just so hard for our team? Why is it so hard?
The Texans are a winner, and Jadeveon Clowney, they went through the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's probably not just ours. It just feels like it. It's magnified
feels like it.
because we're not winning,
Yeah, it sure
All right,
feels like
that's the 10-minute drill. We'll talk more about this Jan development and other Jags issues and combine issues with Breakfast with Baselli. That's coming up top of the hour.
He's part of that franchise, and
you're gonna put the blame on him. That's fair.
I think so. We'll do caller number 3, Beef, for the Celtic and the airport parking. Tell them again real quick what it is.
Yeah, call number 3 right now, 641-1010. Going to take home a pair of tickets to the Celtic Music and Heritage Festival coming up March 14th and 15th in St. Augustine, and airport parking from our friends at USA
I have
Park
the answer to long-term save the XFL, but it's going to take some guts on their part to do it. It's going to take some guts, and you're going to have to hurt some friendships with other levels of football. But there is a way for the XFL to distinguish itself, even beyond the NFL. Believe it or not, that's there. And they might want to take a look at the MLS. Who can believe they've lasted 25 years? But the 25-year anniversary, and they're now playing in front of 60,000 fans in Nashville and Atlanta. So there may be some help out there, and I think I have a way that the XFL could do it. And you know what? I don't think they ever would.